Hello. Today is Tuesday of Holy Week. And during Holy Week, we enter into a different time zone altogether. We spend the week in Jerusalem, in Palestine in the first century, so that we can walk through those scenes of Jesus' life, his death, and his resurrection, to walk through those with him. And so today, our Lenten journey brings us to these final moments before Jesus will enter into his passion. And we hear about disappointments. Oh, painful disappointments. We hear how Judas is prepared to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. And scholars have wondered why. People who do Bible study wonder why. Oftentimes we all wonder, why would Judas do that? I mean, he had been with the Lord and had been trusted by him. And the gospel seems to indicate that he did it because he was greedy. He wanted the money. And that could well be. There are others who believe that, it was just a ruse that Judas used because what he wanted to do was spark a rebellion, that once Jesus would be arrested, his followers would rise up, they would free Jesus, and then go on to free all of Palestine from the grip of the Romans. And we don't know. We don't know. We don't know that he betrayed Jesus. And we understand that. I'm going to say all of us, if we've lived long enough, have experienced betrayal in our lives. The pain of having somebody that we cared about do something that truly betrayed our trust. The second is the story of Peter, who, God loved Peter, impetuous Peter. I will not deny you. I'm not that kind of person. I'm stronger than that, he says. And yet we know that he will, not once, not twice, but 3 times, he'll deny the fact that he even knows Jesus. And that must have weighed heavy on Jesus to know betrayal and denial. These ones that he trusted, that he relied on, would let him down. And he still goes through with it all. Because in the gospel today, he also talks about glory. Isaiah in the first reading talks about glory. And it's kind of hard to see how betrayal and denial and glory all go together. But, recently we celebrated the Winter Olympics. And as those unfolded, sometimes the commentators would tell us something of the story of the athlete. Either he or she had gone through so many things. They had gone through broken bones. They had gone through all kinds of injuries. They had suffered a great deal. They had known a lot of struggle in their life. And then comes that moment of glory where they stand on the podium and they receive the medal of bronze or silver or even gold. Somehow that victory makes it all worthwhile to them. And they see that denial, that betrayal, somehow leading to something so very important. And that's what Jesus does. That's what Jesus does. He trusts that in the end, he will pass through death to life, to the crown of everlasting life. He will become the King of all creation. And you and I, my brothers and sisters, who also have known some betrayal and denial in our lives, have known struggle and difficulty, you and I are reminded of that as well. Because we've failed sometimes during this Lent. We've failed sometimes during our life. We've let the Lord down. We may not have betrayed him, but, our actions denied him. And, it is that sad truth. But we're invited to pick ourselves up and keep going on. To keep before us that vision of the glory that lies ahead. That we can pass through death with him to life. We can pass through denial to him to life. We can pass through his betrayal into his life. That we can do that. This last week of Lent, this Holy Week, we're invited to experience the power of God's grace that lifts us up in every fall, in every failure, and to find in that love, that mercy, that grace, the hope of victory. Have a grace-filled journey to Easter.